Welcome to MRU E-Learning powered by Malla Reddy University. Myself, Dr. N.V. Murali, Assistant Professor, Department of Food Science and Technology, School of Agricultural Sciences, Malla Reddy University. Today I am going to discuss about some basic concepts in food science and nutrition. Okay. First point in the food science and nutrition or nutrition and dietetics or food technology, first important point is the food. What is the meaning of the food? Food is the anything edible substances. Okay, it is there are the three forms. It in the solid forms, semi-solid forms, and liquid forms. Okay, when we are consuming or swallowed the foods, it's going for the digestion and assimilated, and it's providing the energy, that is the nourishes to the body. It is the providing the energy to the human body for our growth, development, and it is the protects and regulations of the regulating the human bodies. Okay, and also it is helpful for protecting the different diseases in the humans. Second concept is the food science. Food science is the physically, chemically, and biologically study of the food. Okay, it is the scientifically study of different parameters or properties like physical, chemical, and biological of the foods. Okay, it is in the food science is majorly helpful for the food processing. Food processing is it is like chain from the raw foods to the up to value added products. Up to value added products, it is the processing. Okay, from the handling onwards up to providing the value added products and up to storage level. Okay, in this process scientifically study of physical, chemical, and biological properties of the foods. Next concept is the food technology. What is the meaning of technology or food technology? It is the application of principles in the food science. Okay, it is here we are using the engineering tools or engineering techniques to during the processing and preservation technology in the large quantities of the foods. Okay, it is helpful for selection. First point, selection of the what type of the food is helpful, what type of the raw products or what type of the fruits or vegetables or any ingredients is suitable for producing the good quality oriented products, and also it is helpful for the preservation technology and processing and up to packaging and up to distribution level. Okay, in this cycle or in this chain, using the engineering tools or scientific methods for applications to the producing the good for the safe food to the public. That is the reason. And next one is the nutrition. Nutrition is the important concept. Okay, it will helpful for the nutrition. First point, nutrition's meaning of the nutrition is the study of the nutrients. Scientifically study of the nutrients. Okay, that nutrients present in the food. Okay, nutrients is commonly present in the food. It is helpful for the development and maintenance of the highest state of the fitness. Okay, it will helpful for the development and also maintenance, and it is helpful for the highest state of the fitness. Like fitness means good health. Fitness is the good health, and it is the helpful for maximum capacity of the working, and also it is the ability to undertake the mental, physical task of the power to the withdrawn physical, psychological stresses. Okay, majorly that nutrients is the present in the foods. Scientifically study of the nutrients, it's called as nutrition. That nutrients present in the foods. Then concepts is the nutrients. Nutrients is the chemical constituents. Chemical constituents present in the food. It will helpful for supplying or supporting for the body for sufficient amount for growing, reproduction, and normal healthy of the life. Okay, it is the nutrients is commonly present in the food. That nutrients is helpful for providing the energy. Okay, it is the term definitions is it is the chemical constituents. Those are all the chemical constituents commonly present in the foods. That what is the advantages of the nutrients? It is helpful for the growing. Okay, it is helpful for growth and reproduce, and it is beneficial for the normal healthy life. Okay, then what are all the different types of the nutrients? That is the protein, carbohydrates, fats, vitamins, minerals, and water. These are all the 6 major nutrients. Okay, then coming for the food concepts, they are classified as, okay, in the classifications, they are classified as the, depending upon the energy yielding. Okay, in the first point, in the food, they are classified as 2 types, that is the macronutrients and micronutrients. Why they are classified as the macronutrients and micronutrients? Because of the, it's depending upon the how much quantity, okay, how much quantity human body requires from the more energy from the which groups. Okay, that is, they are classified as the 2 groups, that is the macronutrients and micronutrients. Macronutrients are carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. 3 nutrients are macronutrients, and micronutrients is the vitamins and minerals. These carbohydrates, providing the 1 gram of carbohydrates is providing the 4 kilocalories, and also protein also providing the 4 kilocalories, and fat is the 1 gram of fat, it's providing the 9 kilocalories of energy. Then for example, it is the examples of the carbohydrates like cereals, pulses, okay, cereals, pulses, roots, tubers, and dried fruits, nuts, oil seeds. These are all the some different carbohydrate examples. Okay, also these sources of carbohydrates. Then next concept is the basic 5 food groups. So what is the meaning of the basic food 5 groups? They are classified as the 5 food groups differently. First one is the cereals and pulses, cereal groups, and second one is the pulses and legumes, and milk products, and next fourth one is the fruits and vegetables, last one is the fats and sugars. What is the concepts? Why they are nomenclature or invented for the basic 5 food groups? So depending upon the requirement for the body. Okay, this is the triangle shape pyramid. Okay, that is the food pyramid, is the triangle shape pyramid. It's showing for the this pyramid shaped diagram. It is representing the how much amount of the food we have to include in our daily diet. Okay, that is the concept. So, okay, like it's like in the triangle shape, they are classified as the 5 classification. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 are classification, they are classified. Okay, depending upon the first point, here we can note down. First one is the we have to consume more cereal group foods. Okay, like rice, wheat, ragi, bajra, maize, flakes, wheat flour, like barley. These are all the comes under the cereal groups. You can consume the adequately. Adequately means you can consume the more quantity in our daily diet. That is the concept. Second one is the legumes. Okay, like pulses and legumes, you can including the not much of cereals. You can consume liberally. Okay, like it is the represents the first one is the cereal groups, right? This one is the cereal groups. Okay, we can consume the more quantities. Okay, you can consume the adequately. Okay, next group is the vegetables, fruits and vegetables. Okay, you can consume the eat liberally. Third one is the meat and poultry, like non-vegetarian foods. You can eat moderately. And next one is the last fifth group is the fats and oils. Fats and oils is the we can eat the fried liberally, or you can taste in a week, so 2 times or 3 times. That is the very sparingly. Okay, that is the shows the how much quantity and what type of the foods we have to consume more, what type of food we have to avoid, or eat low quantity or small quantity. That is the represents in the food pyramids. Okay. Next concept is already we are discussing macronutrients and micronutrients. Okay, in the macronutrients, first one is the protein. What is the meaning of protein? This protein is the chemical constituent present in the food that classified as the, because why they are classified as the macronutrients? From the protein or from the food, these nutrients requires more quantity for our growth, reproduction and maintenance and regular activities of our human bodies. Okay, this protein invented by one of the great scientists, that is Mulder. Okay, it is the Dutch chemist. It is the invented in 1838 he invented. Okay, this protein is nitrogen containing constituents of the foods. It is the impossible without any present in all the tissues of the bodies. It is the protein is commonly present in the foods like in all the tissues of the bodies. Okay, then what is the percentage level distributed that protein in the human bodies? First one is the 50% of the protein present in the muscles, and 20% of the protein present in the bones, and 10% of the protein present in the skins. Rest of the proteins is present in the like other parts of the human body. This is the distribution level of the protein in the human body system. Okay, human body. Then what is the advantages of the proteins? Okay, why you have to consume the protein concept or protein nutrient in the foods? That is the what is the advantages? First advantage is the growth. Okay, for growth and maintenance and representing of the body tissues. Okay, protein is helpful for the growth of our bodies and also maintenance, reproduction. Okay, growing the different tissues and different parts of the human bodies. Okay, that is the helpful for the proteins, and also it is the repairing body tissues. Okay, for example, if some persons or any person suffering from the different diseases or like any injuries, okay, that protein will be providing supplying for the energy for growth or repairing or it is curing the particular diseases. For that purposes we have to consume the more proteins. Okay, and also even though that protein is the 1 gram of protein is providing the 4 kilocalories of energy. 4 kilocalories of energy. These proteins are made up of amino acids. Very, very, very important point, that proteins are made up of amino acid molecules. Okay, these amino acids are total 22 amino acids is the made up from the that proteins. Okay, that body, our human body needs from the requires 22 different amino acids for function properly. If our body will function properly, we have to consume the 22 different amino acids from the proteins. Okay, these amino acids made from the carbon, hydrogen and oxygen and nitrogen, different chemical contents, and also sulfurs. Okay, these are all the different groups of the amino acids. Classifications of the proteins, that is the number of, depending upon number of amino acids like the carboxylic acids, and composition level, and also nutrition classifications. Then there are the three different types of the proteins. First one is the simple protein, second one is the conjugated proteins, and third one is the derived proteins. Okay, there are the three classifications. In the simple proteins, we can see the hydrolysis of the yeast only in the amino acids. It is the direct source of the proteins. Okay, that is the, for example, albumins. In the egg is commonly present in the protein, that is the albumin, and globulin and glutein, proline, okay, histidine, fibrous protein. These are all the simple direct source of the proteins. It is the we can consume in the foods, in the raw foods. Okay, like in the it is common present in the animals and plant sources. Next one is the conjugated compound proteins. Conjugated means the compound. It is the protein substances like in the combining with the other nutrients. Okay, not only this is the pure. It is the simple proteins are the pure protein substances. In the conjugated proteins, it's the combining. Conjugated, it is the combining with the carbohydrates and lipids. Okay, protein substances combined with the carbohydrates or lipid sources. For example, glycoproteins. Glyco means glucose, it is the carbohydrates, and protein is the base concepts. Okay, it is the protein and carbohydrates. Along with the protein and carbohydrates, it's called as the glycoproteins. Okay, second one is the lipoproteins. Lipo means the fat. Okay, proteins. Lipo means the fat with the protein. Next one is the phosphoproteins. That is the protein with the phosphorus. It's called as phosphoproteins. Okay, next one is the last one is the hemoglobin. Hemoglobins means hemo means iron. Iron contents are present in the protein samples. That is the hemoglobins. Proteins along with the heme content or like iron so contents. Okay, this is the conjugated means combined with the other nutrients. That is nomenclatured as a conjugated or compound proteins. Next, last classifications is the derived proteins. Derived means it is the derived from the partial or complete hydrolysis of the simple or conjugated proteins. This is not the pure direct source of the proteins. These derived proteins from the extracted or separated from the simple proteins or conjugated proteins. Okay, it is the from the alkalis or enzymes. In that there are the in the derived proteins also there are the two types, that is the primary derived proteins, second one is the secondary derived proteins. For example, in the primary derived proteins, metaproteins, conjugated proteins, it is the commonly present in the boiled egg. In the secondary derived proteins, that is the, for example of the secondary derived proteins, that is the protease, peptones and peptides. These are all the example of the secondary derived proteins. Then in the nutritional classifications of the proteins, there are the three types. First one is the complete proteins, partial complete proteins and incomplete proteins. Why they are classified as the three types, different nutritional classifications depending upon the amino acids. Okay. Complete means complete without any lack of the amino acids. It is the complete, it's having the all essential amino acids. It is having the all amino acids, and also it is helpful for the good growing the good. Okay, it is the promotes for the good growth. Okay, for example, health is the complete protein, because in the egg having the all the essential amino acids. That's the why they are called as the complete protein. Then comes to the partial complete protein. Partials means it is the lacking in the one or more essential amino acids. It's not complete proteins, but it's having the lacking or insufficient of the one or more essential amino acids in the particular food. That's why they are called as the partial complete proteins. These moderate the growth. Okay, but what is the example of the partial complete growth? That is the wheat protein. Wheat protein is the gluten. Then comes to the incomplete protein. Incomplete means completely lacking one or more essential amino acids. Okay, it is not pure proteins. Okay, it is the incomplete proteins. It is the lacking of the one or maybe any more amino acids in the absence of the more amino acids in the food groups. That's called as incomplete proteins. It is the if in case consuming the incomplete proteins, what will happen? No growth. Okay, and also not proper growing and reproductions, and it will not supporting for the human health. Okay, and also what is the example of the incomplete proteins? That is the gene protein is present in the maize and also gelatin. Then this amino acids is made up from the proteins. We are already discussed about the proteins, right? This proteins is made up of amino acids. In this amino acid, we are already discussed in the proteins. There are the three types. That is the complete proteins, partial proteins, and next one is the incomplete proteins. In this, like in amino acids also, there are the three types of the amino acids. That is the essential amino acids, non-essential amino acids, and conditional essential amino acids. Essential means we requires amino acids which not able to synthesis in the human body. That particular amino acids will not synthesis in human body. That is the reason we have to consume through the food. Okay, that type of the essential amino acids will not synthesize in human body. That is the reason we have to consume from the outside, like through food only we have to consume. Okay, that is the meaning of essential amino acids. Second one is the non-essential amino acids, no requires. Okay, because those type of the amino acids synthesized in the human body. That is the reason no need to take from the food. Next one is the conditionally essential amino acids. Conditional means depending upon the persons. Okay, these are all needed for the diet unless for the amount of their availability, or like in case one person suffering from any different diseases or like some health issues or problems, on that time that particular amino acids will not synthesize in the human body. That's why that particular amino acid we have to consume from the foods. That is the name is the conditionally, that is called they are conditionally essential amino acids. Not in all situations, in some cases, some situations it requires. Okay, then some of the examples in the essential amino acids, that is the histidine, isoleucine, leucine and lysine, and also methionine, phenylalanine, threonine, valine, tryptophan. These are all the example of the essential amino acids. Okay, then conditional essential amino acids requires the depending upon the person. That is the arginine, cysteine, glycine, proline, tyrosine. These are all the conditional essential amino acids. Then non-essential amino acids, that is the alanine, and some glutamic acids, gluten, serine. These are all the examples of the non-essential amino acids. Non-essentials means no need to take from the food sources. These amino acids will be synthesized in human body. Then these are all the different types of the proteins and as well as amino acids. Okay. Then go for the what is the functions of the protein. What is the functions of the protein? That is it will helpful for the growth, maintenance and repairing the body tissues. These three important points for the functions of the protein. That is if we are consuming the sufficient quantity of the protein, it will helpful for the growth, maintenance and repairing the body tissues. And also that protein will work like enzymes. Okay, these enzymes are made up of the proteins. Like example of the what are all the enzyme proteins? That is the pepsin, trypsin and amylase. These are all the examples of enzyme made up of proteins. Okay, and also proteins is work as the hormones. Okay, like what type of that hormones are made up of the proteins? That is the insulin. Okay, and growth hormones. Okay, this insulin is helpful for the controlling the different diseases like diabetes. Okay, and also transmitting the nerve signals. Okay, it is the helpful for the sending the some signals to the pot to pot in the nervous cells to another states. Okay, that is the tryptophan or niacin. Okay, then what is that protein will be helpful for the transport nutrients. Transport nutrients means carrying. Okay, it is the transporting the some energy level or some nutrients to the one part to the another part through the wall of the blood. That is the retinol or binding proteins or lipoproteins. These are all the examples of the transport proteins in the human body. Okay, and also these proteins helpful for the contraction of the muscles. Okay, it is the contractile protein, and myosin and actin is the example of the contractile proteins. And also that protein is helpful for regulation of the water balance, maintenance of the fluid balance or water balance in the human bodies. And also this protein is helpful for the buffer and also maintaining the pH level of the human bodies. Okay, it is the helpful for pH level of the blood in the human body. These protein is helpful for the work as the antibodies. Antibodies made up of the in the proteins. Okay, this what is the meaning of the antibodies or antioxidants? These the antioxidants is helpful for the antioxidants. It is helpful for the protecting against the disease causing organisms. Okay, in case attacking the any harmful virus or some microorganisms, contaminated microorganisms to the human health, on that time it is helpful for the protecting against or preventing or protecting the our health. Okay, and also that protein will be helpful for the providing energy. We are already discussed 1 gram of protein, it's providing the 4 kilocalories of energy. 1 gram of protein and it is providing the 4 kilocalories of energy. Okay, these are all the functions of the proteins. Then after consumption of the proteins, okay, what is how we have to identify whether that protein will be qualified or not, we are consuming that quality protein or not. Okay, that is depending upon the amino acids present in the food samples. Okay, like all the essential amino acids, proper proportions. Okay, these that all the essential amino acids is helpful for promoting the good growth, and also it is called as the complete proteins because it's having all the quality proteins of the high level in the biological values. Then what is the example of the complete proteins? That is the egg. Okay, then what are all the methods for estimating the protein qualities? That is the DC method, that is the digestibility coefficient, and next one is the BV method, that is the biological values, and net protein utilization, protein efficiency ratio, that is the PER method, and also amino acid scores. These are all the 5 different methods for analyzing the or estimating the protein qualities. First one is the DC method, that is the digestibility coefficient, that is the what is the method for estimating, that is the percentage of the ingested the protein in the observed blood streams, that is the after digestion is complete. Okay, how much quantity of the proteins absorbed in the bloodstream after digestion of the complete protein, or after digestion of will be completed. Okay, and also it is the for this methods we have to use the albino rats for the 28 days. Okay, for the make into 2 groups or 3 groups depending upon the researcher, depending upon the study. Okay, that one group of the feeds to the protein diet, another group of the protein will be one group of the they are divided into 2 groups of the albino rats. One group can consume the one protein diet, another group of the rats will consume the protein free diet. That is the shows the data, that is the that formula of the DC method, digestibility coefficient method, that is the nitrogen intake minus nitrogen lost in the digestion divided by nitrogen intake minus nitrogen lost in the digestion divided by nitrogen intake into 100. This is the formula for estimating the protein quality by using the digestibility coefficient method. Next one, second method is the biological value of the proteins, that is the BV method. Okay, that is the that percentage of the protein nitrogen it is absorbed and available for use of the bodies. Okay, that is the formula of the BV methods, that is the nitrogen digested minus nitrogen lost in the metabolism. Metabolism is the consumption, absorption, okay, digestion and assimilation's total process. Okay, there are 3 processes in the metabolism. Okay, that is the digestion, absorption and assimilation, 3 parts in the metabolism. After completion of the metabolism, so we have to take the data. That is the formula of the BV method, nitrogen digested minus nitrogen lost in the metabolism divided by nitrogen digested into 100. Next one is the NPU, net protein utilizations. That is the formula of the net protein utilization, that is the digestibility coefficient divided by the digestibility coefficient into biological method divided by the 100. That is the formula of net protein utilization. Last one is the protein efficiency ratio, that is the like simple method for estimating the protein quality, that is the gain in the weight divided by protein intake. Okay, we can calculate the gain in the weight, what is the weight of the person divided by protein intake, how much quantity of protein is consumed. Okay, that divided, if we divided the 2 values, so you can get the values of the protein efficiency ratio, that is the PER method. Okay, these are all the last one is the chemical score methods, that is the amino acids or chemical score method, that is the limiting amino acid content in the test protein divided by same amino acids in the egg protein into 100. These are all the complete information regarding the proteins. Next nutrient is the fat. Okay, fat is the major macronutrients, because the macro means large quantity of energy required for our health, for growth and maintenance and reproductive systems. Okay, protein, carbohydrates and next one is the fat. These 3 nutrients considered as a macronutrients. These macronutrients, these 3 nutrients providing the major role on major energy to our human health. Okay, that energy stores of the human bodies. Okay, that fat will be deposited in the human bodies. Okay, it is the 1 gram of fats, it's providing the 9 kilocalories. Okay, that is the we are already discussed 1 gram of protein, it's providing the 4 kilocalories, right? And also 1 gram of carbohydrates also providing the 4 kilocalories. Okay, 4 kilocalories. Even the 9 fat is the doubling of the protein and carbohydrates. If consuming the 1 gram of the proteins, it will providing the 9 kilocalories of energy. Okay, after digestion, so okay, what is the requirement of the fat? Okay, according to RDA. Okay, RDA means recommended dietary allowances. These guidelines it is developed by the ICMR, that is the Indian Council of Medical Research, that is the one of the research station in the Hyderabad, that is the NIN. Okay, that is the National Institute of Nutrition. They are developed that they are developed one of the RDA tables. That table will be shows the how much quantity of proteins like carbohydrates and fats, okay, different nutrients, how much quantity we have to consume regularly depending upon our body conditions and also depending upon our body weight. Okay, next one is that after metabolism of the protein, fats, it will going for the deposited in the adipose tissues. Okay, and also it is the synthesis in the structural lipids, and also 2.5 times of the energy you will provide in that of the glucose and glycogens. Okay, after storing the fat in the adipose tissues, during the fasting, during the fastings or skipped meal times, it will convert it into glucose, and also it is providing the energy to the human health. Okay, and also insoluble in the water, okay, but soluble in the fats. In the fat also there are the two groups, fat soluble vitamins and water soluble vitamins. Fat soluble means it is dissolved in the fats only, it will not dissolve in the water. Okay, fat soluble vitamins there are the 5, that is the vitamin A and vitamin D, vitamin K and vitamin E. These are all the 5 we have 4 types of the fat soluble vitamins. Okay, and also water soluble vitamins, it is the only dissolving the water content, that is the B complex and vitamin C, B complex vitamins and vitamin C vitamin C content. Okay, vitamin C vitamin. Okay, and also it is the insoluble in the water but only dissolving. These fat soluble vitamins are dissolving in the only fat content like in the ether, chloroforms, and it is boiling in the alcohol and benzene. Okay, these lipid metabolism of the fats in the human bodies, it is the fat is helpful for the component of the foods in the diet. These carbohydrates made up of the carbon, hydrogen and lower level of the oxygens. Okay, this is that composite of the carbon, hydrogen and lower amount of the oxygen in the relation for the carbohydrates. Okay, these are all the chemical formula or structure of the different structure of the fats, that is the triglycerides, okay, and diglycerides, monoglycerides, and they are classified as in the fatty acids also. In the fat also they are classified as the 2 types, that is the unsaturated fats and saturated fats. Unsaturated fats, that is the essential and non-essential. Essentials means that type of the fatty acids will not synthesized, okay, in a human body, we have to consume through food only. Then what is the example, what is the different types of the essential fatty acids? Okay, that is the omega 3 and omega 6 fatty acids. Okay, and these are all the different type examples. Omega 3 means the alpha linolenic acids and omega 6 means the linolenic acids. And what is the meaning of non-essential? Non-essentials means it is the already synthesized in the human body, no need to take from the foods. Okay, that is the different in also omega 3 in the EPA and DH methods, and omega 6 also, and also omega 9 and oleic acids and different types. And in the saturated means in the non-essential, that is the butyric acids and stearic acid. These are all the examples of the different fatty acids. Okay, and also fatty acid depending upon the length of the carbon chains. Okay, they are classified as the short chain fatty acids and medium chain fatty acids and long chain fatty acids. In the short time, that is the short chain fatty acids are less than 8 carbons. Here having the only less than the 8 carbons. Next one is in the medium chains, it's having the only 10 to 14 carbons. In the long chains, 16 to 24 carbons. And also saturated and unsaturated. In the what is the specialty and what is the meaning of the saturated fatty acids? Here no double bonds present in the fatty acids. In the unsaturated fatty acids, it's having the one double bond is present like monosaturated fatty acids. Okay, and also in the unsaturated fatty acids, 1 or 2 or more double bonds will be present there in the fatty acids. And here also in the in protein, okay, here in lipids also they are classified as 3 types, that is the simple lipids, compound lipids and derived lipids. Simple lipids, like what is the example of the simple lipids? That is the fats and oils and waxes. In the compound lipids, that is the phospholipids and glycolipids. And the derived lipids, that is the steroids and terpenes and carotenoids. These are all the examples of the different classifications of the derived proteins. Okay, in the derived proteins also, like simple and compound. Okay, simples is the pure fatty acids, compound with the, it is the composed or combined with the other nutrients or another molecules. Okay, that is the simple proteins is the pure lipids. Okay, in the derived proteins, that is the combining with the simple proteins and also compound with the lipids in the hydrolysis, like fatty acids, steroids, alcohol, okay, and aldehyde, ketones and hydrocarbons. Okay, and here also in the saturated fatty acids, no double bonds, and in the unsaturated fatty acids, it is the its presence of the double bonds. And also then depending upon the structure, classifications of the lipid based on the functions. Okay, in the categories there are the classified as the three types, that is the structural lipids, storage lipids and metabolic lipids. Okay, structural lipids means it will helpful for contribute to the cellular architectures, like mainly constituents of the cell membranes. Okay, in the storage lipids, long terms for the long term that reserves the metabolic fuels. Okay, it is the when we are consuming the fats, okay, what is the requirement for the human body, that is the that much of the fat will be utilized for providing the energy, rest of the fat will be going for stored in the adipose tissues. That storage fat will be converted into glucose or energy when we are fastings or skipping the meals. That is the that type of the fats called as the storage lipids. Okay, and also metabolic lipids. Metabolic lipids means undergo the metabolic transformations of the producing the substances for providing the physiological and nutritional significance of the human bodies. Then what is the functions of the fats? Okay, 1 gram of the fats is providing the 9 kilocalories of the energy, and also there are the different types of the fat soluble vitamins, that is the vitamin A, D, E and K. Total 4 vitamins are comes under the fat soluble vitamins. These fat soluble vitamins, okay, these are all the fats is helpful for providing the good functions of the human health, like it's preventing the some diseases like heart diseases, kidney diseases and related to the intestine diseases. Okay, and also it is helpful for the benefit of the skins, like it is providing the insulations against the cold, and also it is the rich sources of the essential fatty acids. Okay, and also it's helpful for the structural and framework for the living tissues. Okay, and also it is the phospholipids are principle of constituent of the cell membranes. These fatty acids is helpful for regulating the membrane of the permeability, and also components of the electron transport systems in the mitochondria and chloroplast. These lipids in the cellular metabolic regulations, that is the steroid hormones and like functioning of the smooth muscles and also blood vessels and adipose tissues. These are all the functioning of the lipids, and also these are all the functions of the, these are all the advantages of the lipids in the human bodies. And fatty acids, okay, fats is helpful for regulator of the human bodies. Okay, if you are consuming the sufficient quantity of omega-3 and omega-6 unsaturated fatty acids, it's helpful for the protecting the some reproductive cycles and also stimulation of the pains, and also it is helpful for preventing the some like diseases like fevers and blood clotting. Okay, and also it is helpful, fatty acids is helpful for role of extracellular matrix. Okay, it will helpful for the influencing the multiplications of the cells, and also it is helpful for the development, movement and shape of the biochemical of the cell system. Okay, and also this fatty acids is helpful for the vision and also central nervous system. And fatty acids is helpful for protecting the controlling the cardiovascular diseases. This omega-6 and omega-3 fatty acids is helpful for the expert for protecting or preventing the all diseases. Okay, and also it is the anti-inflammatory effects. Okay, this the omega-3 is the resources of increasing the cell membrane. Okay, these are all producing the anti-inflammatory groups. It is helpful for the, it's worked as a anti-inflammatory effects in the human health. Then the in the fats there are the three types, that is the simple lipids, compound lipids and derived lipids, right? In the simple lipids there the esters from the fatty acids with the glycerols. Okay, what is the example of the simple lipids? That is the fats and oils. Next one is the waxes. Okay, that is the example of the fats and oils. Okay, is the consumer oil, or that is the solid at room temperature. Okay, that is the waxes is the true waxes or cholesterol esters or vitamin A and carotenoid esters. Okay, examples is the bee wax or and different esters fatty acids from the long chain aliphatic alcohol. Then next second one is the compound or complex lipids. Okay, it is the combining with the other nutrients, that is the esters of fatty acids is hydrolyzed from the healed or other substances. It is the addition of the fatty acids and alcohol. Okay, then what is the example of the combined or complex lipids? That is the phospholipids. Okay, phospholipids is the lipid hydrolysis of the healed fatty acids, that is the phosphate group is the like alcohol and nitrogenous base. Okay, glycerophospholipids, that is the constituent of the alcohol is the glycerol. Okay, then it is the important component of the cell membrane, that is the lecithin. Okay, sphygmophospholipids, that is like occur in the plasma membranes like in the animal cells. Okay, it is the found in the myelin sheaths or nerve tissues. Okay, these are all the different types of the phospholipids. Next one is the glycolipids. Okay, glucose or lipids. Okay, glucose plus carbohydrates plus fats. Okay, carbohydrates plus fats. Okay, that is the name is the glycolipids. Okay, next one is the amino lipids and also lipoproteins. Okay, proteins along with the lipids. The last one is the derived lipids. Derived lipids means the derived from the simple and compounds. Okay, simple lipids is the pure lipid or pure fat. Conjugated or complex or compound lipids means it is the combining with the other molecules, and derived lipids is the derived from the simple or compound lipids on the base of the hydrolysis. In the fatty acids, okay, these are all steroids, alcohol and aldehyde ketones or hydrocarbons. Then these are all the there are the two types of the derived fatty acids, that is the saturated fatty acids. Second one is the unsaturated fatty acids. In the saturated fatty acids, no double bond. In the unsaturated fatty acids, it's having the one or two or more presence of the double bonds. Then classifications of the lipids depending upon the functions. Okay, what is it depending upon the working nature of the lipids? Okay, they are classified as the three types, that is the structural lipids, storage lipids and metabolic lipids. Structural lipids means it is helpful for contribute to the cellular systems, mainly in the constituents of the cell membrane, and in the storage lipids it is helpful for the storing this type of those particular lipids in the long terms. Okay, it is reserved for the metabolic fuels. Okay, in the rest of the, okay, if you are consuming the more than requirement of the fats, okay, what is the required quantity of the fat that will utilize in our human body systems, in the metabolic systems? Rest of the fats will going for the store in the adipose tissues, though that deposited fat will be utilized in the in next future days, like in the fasting times or in the skipped meal times. Okay, that is the if the skipping the meals in any time, so it will utilize for as a glucose or energy sources. And also metabolic lipids, that is the undergo for the metabolic transformations or producing the like in the significance of the nutritional and physiological system. Okay, in these slides we can see that what is the metabolism of the fats. Okay, in the metabolism there are the three steps, that is the digestion, absorption and assimilation systems. That is the digestion and absorption and assimilation. Okay, there are the three methods in the metabolism systems. Okay, then in here that fat will be, when we are consuming the fat, when we are swallowing the fat, that fat will be hydrolysis of the emulsified fats. Okay, that is the action of the cholecytokine. This is the help of the bile. It is the emulsified, it converted into emulsified fat. Okay, that emulsified fats with the help of the pancreas lipase systems are hydrolysis to the converted into, they are the simple fats. Okay, it is the emulsified fat into simple fats, that is the hydrolysis during in the it converted for the monoglycerides, diglycerides and fatty acids and glycerol. From the with the help of the bile forms, it's converted for the micelles. That micelles is helpful for the bile systems absorbed in the hilum. Okay, these simple fatty acids like monoglycerides, diglycerides, fatty acids and glycerols, it resynthesis for the triglycerides. Okay, triglycerides is the protein and phospholipids. It is the triglycerides will be utilized or absorbed in the blood systems, that is the chylomicrons, and blood circulations, that is the lymph circulation systems. Okay, it is in this digestion or metabolism of the fats, there are the first step is the digestion, next one is the absorption and transport. Digestion is the breakdown of the fatty acids, absorption means the utilizing the energy level in the human body, and transport means the rest of the fats will going for the store or deposited in the adipose tissues. Then next one is the deficiency. Deficiency is the problems. Okay, if you are not consuming the insufficient quantity of the fats. Okay, if you are not consuming the sufficient quantities. Okay, what will the problem will be occur? Okay, if you are not consuming the sufficient quantity of the fats, what will happen? It may be lead to for the constipation problem in the human health, and also cracked nails and depression, and also dry and hairless, that is the lifeless hairs. Okay, hair will be fall and skin will be dry, and also dry mucous membranes like tears, duchess, mouth. Okay, other different parts of the organs, human body. Okay, and also it's the if you are not consuming the sufficient quantity of the fat, what will happen? Always like a dry skin. Okay, and also a person feel like fatigue and some low level of the energy, because fat is the providing the major role for providing the energy level in the human bodies. And also it is a risk of the cardiovascular diseases like coronary heart diseases. Okay, that is the CHO. Okay, it is the fat will be it is the fats. Okay, essential amino acid like omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids will more helpful for curing the heart diseases. And also impairment of the, if you are not consuming the sufficient quantity of fat, what will happen? It is the impairment of the transporting the cholesterol. Then what are all the sources of the fats? Okay, in the fat system, it is the commonly present in the animal sources, vegetable sources, and also other sources. Okay, in the animal sources like the meat, fish, egg, milk, ghee, butter, these are all the example of sources of the animal fats. Okay, and in the vegetables fats is the groundnut fats. Okay, coconuts and mustards and sesame, these are all the sources of the vegetable fats. And other sources like in the cereals, pulses, nuts, or any other agriculture and horticulture produces. Okay, that fat is called as the invisible fat. Okay, these are all the visible fat. Invisible means it is the we can't see. Okay, when we are consuming the cereals, pulses or fruits and vegetables, it will that fat will be utilized in our human body, but we can't see. That's name as the invisible fats. These invisible fats is present in the cereals, pulses and other fruits and vegetables. Okay, last topic is the rancidity. Rancidity is the spoilage of the fats. Okay, it is the development of the off flavor due to the releasing of the aldehyde and ketone in the fats. That biochemical reactions between the fats and oxygen. Okay, that is the reasons. That is the biochemical reaction between the fat and oxygen. It is the providing the off flavor, off odor. Okay, that is the meaning of the spoilage or rancidity of the fats. That is the degradation of the long chain fatty acids into the short chain fatty acids. What will happen in this spoilage or rancidity of the fats? It is the degradation of the long chain fatty acids converted into short chain fatty acids. Okay, that is the rancid oil forms of the, it is the harmful for the free radicals in the human bodies. It is causing the cellular damage. Okay, that is the reason rancidity or spoilage fatty acids will not suitable, or it will not good for the human health. Okay, then in the rancidity there are the three types. That is the hydrolytic rancidity. Second one is the oxidative rancidity, and microbial. It is the hydrolysis of the triglycerides. It's having the unpleasant taste and odor. And in the oxidative rancidity, it's having the oxidations in the Unsaturated fatty acids like in the oils and fats, it is the decomposing into the short chain fatty acids, and all in the microbial rancidity means it is the breaking down the fats by bacterials. Okay, due to the attacking or contaminating or contamination of the microbial organisms, it is breaking down of the fatty acids, long chain fatty acid into short chain fatty acids. Okay, thank you.